I am going to give you the words of my mothers. And I say mothers with an emphasis on the plurality of that term. We're all Africans here. We raise children as communities. Even within our nuclear families, we have very high influences from our grandparents. And so the lesson that I am passing on today is a lesson handed from my grandmother and my mother. When I was told to attend today, I was asked to bring the props, the tools of my trade. And so I'm about to share with you the tools of my trade, which is wisdom. A teacher passes wisdom, and in passing that wisdom ensures that the wisdom is passed on to the next generation. Members of the audience, how many of you like to eat? Oh, I don't see hands over here. Oh, all right. You like food too? Sour. So we're going to eat today. I hope you like what it's looking like. This is going to be a very interesting meal. We're going to have fun eating it. Can you see what I've put here? I don't get any answers. Yes, fantastic. Are these edible?
Yes.
What can you do with them? You can cook. Who said cook? Please show your hand. Give her a round of applause, please. Is it possible to eat these things raw?
Yes.
Fantastic. Do you like to eat them raw?
Yes.
If you said yes, let me see your hand, please. It's good to have these conversations. All right. Under what conditions do we eat these things raw? Most times, when we eat food raw, it's because we did not probably want to cook it, or we didn't have the time to cook it. When you are able, you take these ingredients, you prepare them. You need a tool. Cynthia, you use a knife, you use a blender, you use a mortar, and when you have finished, you add fire to it. Don't you do that? And what comes out of it? You have to encourage me here. What comes out of it?
Food.
Is it bad food?
Good food.
It's what kind of food?
Good.
Because you took the time to cook it. Cynthia, there are similarities between this situation and the lives that we live. Every elder that you see here were just retired teenagers. We passed through the same things that the youth passed through today. And so we learned that yes, you can eat your food raw, but if you wait just a little bit and you add a little bit of value to it, then you can get an amazing meal out of it.
That's good.
And that meal will not be enjoyed by only you. What happens when you're a good cook and your neighbor can smell it? Aha! When a girl or boy takes the time to go through with their education, when you learn to find the tools, this knife might look unimportant, but it's an important tool. Without it, I cannot begin to make a meal out of this. So learn to get your tools in order. These things take time. And when you invest that time, you can become people who sit in front and be happy to share. Now, that's not the end of the road, because it can happen that somehow life made it impossible for you to wait to cook this food. Maybe you were force-fed a raw tomato, and maybe a crime was committed, like Mercy said, and someone rubbed you down with onions and force-fed you that. But there's still a solution. It's not the end of the road. There are still ways to get an education even after you've had children. So it does not end where you think it does. There are schools that provide for single mothers. There are grants that allow you to go back to school after you've had your baby. There are sisters and mothers in your community who will help you. Come to me and say, I want to go to school, and see. So don't be impatient. Don't eat your food raw. And parents, learn to speak to these children in the language that they understand, with examples that they can remember. This is how we do it. So it is memorable.